This is Be a Beast on Nelson Radio. You chose to be here. This is not by accident that you're here now and in this program. You want to take your performance to the highest level. You want to dominate. You physically work hard. Now that's important. Mentally, we're going to prepare you to have the kind of success that's available to you. Not just for some, but for you to live it fully. You can do it too. Enjoy this journey. This program is your secret weapon. Be a Beast on Nelson Radio.
This is Be a Beast, the 12-step process to improve your performance with myself, Nelson, and the mental performance coach of the ages, Dave Austin. We're going to be going to a great segment here, and this is where the rubber meets the road as we bring in our next guest, the Be a Beast alumni. Dave, tell us a little bit about Leah.
Oh, Leah. Leah O'Brien is, I just love her because not only because of her success on the field, but who she is off the field. And let me tell you just a little bit about what she's done on the field. 3-time Olympic gold medalist in USA softball, 2-time world champion, 2-time Pan American Games champion, 3 times NCAA national champion for the University of Arizona, holds the Women's College World Series record for batting average in a single tournament, hitting, listen to this, 750. I mean, that's unbelievable. She's also a mom. She does so much in her community. She's a perfect guest for Be a Beast.
Leah O'Brien, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. I'm excited to be on the show.
I got to tell you, this is a little bit humbling for me to say, but my 3 golds came from my dentist, and the only thing I've done that represents 750 is my IQ, so I don't know what else to say.
Well, I get silver in my teeth, so I got to get gold on the field.
So we're talking about, the RESPA, and just in that moment, and I wanted to ask you, before we get into the details on that, just in terms of this managing your belief system, and that seems so broad and general to most, and I want you just to dive deeper on what that means as you've applied that in your sports world, in your athletic world, and also in your personal life.
Well, I feel like, first of all, there's a purpose behind whatever we're doing on the field, off the field. But when I was an athlete on the field, that focus, that purpose, everything that you did, the repetitions, the daily practice, the focus that went with it. There was always a bigger picture down the road, a goal that was being set, but it was the little things that were happening in that moment. And you talk about the belief system, I think back to when I played and the successes I had, but I think back to the steps and how, I think any athlete, any great anybody who's been successful in any aspect of life, it's not always the good. Anyone can have a smile on your face when things are going well, but it actually was the challenges, the battles, the overcoming those things that I feel like eventually made me the elite athlete. But one more thing, the belief system, it has to start with truly believing you're capable, you can go out and make these things happen, and you can be the very best.
Well, I love it. You're a great example of it. And, we all have that capability to bring out the genius, whatever that is in us, but we block it. Somehow, you were, in your mission or your journey, you were able to get through, and every time you had a roadblock, you turned it into your advantage.
Well, and she said it perfectly, Dave. You have to have a North Star that you're navigating towards. Otherwise, the journey along the way, it does have those things that get in the way, whether that's pain-induced physical issues or the mental trauma that you go through, or just in those cycles, as we all experience, those cycles where things just simply aren't going right. And I think that leads perfectly to what we've been focusing on with RESPA the crocodile.
Right. Leah, RESPA is relax, evaluate, then you strategize, patience, and act. And when you put all those together, you can play at your highest level. And I know, can you give us an example of where that kind of maybe triggered in for you?
Well, I think that every aspect of that is so important. And I think back again to when I was playing, or even athletes now, that I try to transfer and translate what my success is and kind of how I got there. And I think that first key, when I hear the word relax, I think the tendency is for us to stress out, to when things are hard, when the biggest challenges come towards us and on the field or off the field, And so just that alone allows you to think clearly, and you can do it quicker because in that relaxing, you can go to that evaluating, you can strategize, you can take those next steps. And for me, and I feel like, you know, again, when I had that 750 batting average, those things were coming more naturally. When things were a little bit harder, I had to kind of remind myself to get into that mode. And so sometimes it's going to happen on its own. Other times you got to really go through those processes and mentally acknowledge this is where I need to be. I got to make myself get there.
You're listening to Nelson Radio. You can reach us direct. Leah O'Brien, 3-time gold Olympic medalist. 888-888-2136, or simply text the word BEAST to 313131. I wanted to ask you, Leah, in terms of limitations, and the majority of them, in my opinion, are self-imposed, those self-imposed governors of, oh, gosh, I can't hit 750, I only can hit 650 in your case, or, you know, or some other extreme. But how do you get over those self-imposed limitations?
Well, I think you have to, it really comes from the battle within, because, you know, you're going to have a lot of obstacles. You're going to have a lot of outside things that are going against you. And ultimately, it's a lot of people want to give up when things get the hardest. And maybe they actually buy into, you know what, maybe I'm just not cut out for this. Maybe I don't have it in me. Whereas I think those that rise to the top truly are the ones that just say, I'm going to find a way. Maybe that difference, maybe everyone has it in them, but it's those that actually say, I'm going to figure it out. I'm not going to stop now. Because once you overcome that hurdle and that challenge, you find, I think of when I played, and I had, every time it was something different that I was doing when I was hitting, when I, you know, start struggling. Well, now I was back and I'm like, man, I made all these adjustments over all these years. I have a lot to offer to the next kid who's struggling. And so really finding out what works, and sometimes it's going to be different things, but it's finding a way.
Leah O'Brien, thanks for being with us. You're listening to Be a Beast on Nelson Radio with Dave Austin, mental performance coach, myself, business leader and coach. Contact us direct, 888-888-2136, or simply text the word BEAST to 313131. From the locker room to the boardroom, we'll guide you to success and to perform like a beast. We'll be right back. We've got Roger Anthony coming up. We're going to dive deeper on Rest for the Crocodile. Stay with us. Do you ever want a secret weapon? Be a Beast training video is your weapon. From the locker room to the boardroom, success is not by accident. Performance is not by chance. You want to get your mind right? Perform at the highest level? Dominate your marketplace? Be a Beast training video is the answer. Mentally, we're going to prepare you to have the kind of success that's available for you to live it fully. You can do it too. The Be a Beast training video is your secret weapon. 888-888-2136. Let me say that again. 888-888-2136, or text BEAST to 313131.